The purpose of this presentation is to raise awareness of noise at work, its harmful effects, and what you can do to protect yourself. We will consider the nature of noise and what the exposure limits are, the sources and effects of noise exposure, and the symptoms of noise damage and how you can protect your hearing. There will be time for questions at the end of the presentation and also a short questionnaire. So what is noise? Very simply, noise is unwanted sound that has the potential to cause damage. The risk of harm to health from noise is very real, and the effects last a lifetime. Sound is produced by atmospheric pressure changes. These changes can be measured. The frequency or pitch and intensity or loudness of a sound are its sound wave. Loudness is measured in decibels. Because of the measurement scale that is used, an increase of just 3 decibels means that the intensity or loudness of a sound has doubled. Our ear is a complex organ and is made up of the outer, middle and inner ear, which has minute hair-like cells that can be permanently and irreversibly damaged by exposure to excessive noise. Sound waves enter the outer ear and cause the eardrum to vibrate. The vibrations are amplified via 3 very small bones and pass to the inner ear. These vibrations cause the hair-like cells to react, and these reactions are passed via the auditory nerve to the brain, where they are interpreted as sound. Now time for a quick review. Sound is caused by changes in the atmospheric pressure, which produce a sound wave. A sound wave is made up of frequency and intensity, or pitch or loudness. Noise is a high sound level that has a potential to cause damage, and loudness is measured in decibels, and an increase of 3 decibels means that the loudness has doubled. Our ear is made up of the outer, middle and inner ear. The inner ear contains cilia, which are hair-like cells. These cells can become damaged when exposed to excessive noise. We have considered sound, noise, and how we hear, but what is too much noise? The law states that if noise levels are 80 decibels, then hearing protection is recommended. If levels are 85 decibels, then hearing protection must be used. Exposure to noise is averaged over an 8-hour period, as it's the total dose of noise that a worker is exposed to that has to be considered. Here are some examples of noise levels that are the equivalent to being exposed to 85 decibels for 8 hours. The noise levels that you are exposed to from the combi hammer and cavity bore blowing machine can reach 110 decibels. Your daily exposure limit without hearing protection is only 90 seconds. The effects of exposure to high levels of noise can be temporary. The effects that you notice after being at a loud music venue, for example. Sounds seem muted, and you will find it difficult to hear conversation, particularly if there is background noise. You may also have faint tinnitus, which is ringing, whining, or buzzing in your ear. If exposure is prolonged or repeated, then these effects become permanent. You will find it difficult to hear conversation, as it is the first frequency to be affected. Tinnitus that is associated with hearing loss becomes permanent, and most people find no escape from the constant torture. Hearing loss and tinnitus occurs when the cilia, which are the hair-like cells in the inner ear, become damaged. When these cells are not damaged and healthy, you can hear clearly. When they suffer moderate damage, your hearing is impaired, and conversation may sound similar to this. When they have been subjected to repeated exposure to high levels of noise, hearing conversation becomes much more difficult, and you are now profoundly deaf. As well as the noise you are exposed to when using the drill or machine, there are of course other sources of noise that you should be aware of when working at a construction site, for example. Very often there are generators, cutting or grinding equipment, mixers, machinery and many other activities that produce high levels of noise that are potentially damaging. Exposure to noise has been considered during the risk assessment process, and in the case of the drill and machine, specific noise assessments have been carried out. If you are subject to these levels of noise, then hearing protection is a must for all operatives on site, including loft fitters who may be present. Let's review what we've covered so far. Exposure to noise is averaged over an 8-hour period. The law states that if noise levels are above 80 decibels, then hearing protection is recommended. If levels are 85 decibels, then hearing protection must be worn. The cavity wall machine and combi hammer can produce noise levels up to 110 decibels. And of course you may also be exposed to other sources of excessive noise. When exposed to excessive noise, the cells in the inner ear become damaged to the extent you will suffer hearing loss and also tinnitus. Here are some indicators that you may be exposed to levels of noise that are potentially damaging. If you have to shout to be heard by someone 2 meters away, it is an indication that noise level is in excess of 85 decibels. If you have to shout to be heard by someone just 1 meter away, it is likely the noise levels are above 90 decibels. There are some obvious symptoms of hearing loss or damage, but because the effects are gradual, although they may be noticed by your family and friends, you may not be aware of them at first. And by the time you do become aware of them, the damage has already been done. Exposure to high levels of noise cannot be avoided. Therefore, the wearing of ear defenders is essential and mandatory for all operatives on site, not just the person drilling. They should fit properly and be free from damage, and the face of the ear cups kept clean. Any defective ones should be replaced immediately. The law states that employers have a duty to ensure the safety of its employees so far as reasonably practicable, including the provision of appropriate PPE. There is specific legislation regarding noise at work. Apart from the obvious health benefits of wearing PPE, you as an employee also have a legal obligation to comply with instruction relating to health and safety in the workplace. So to recap, we have considered the nature of sound, how we hear, and how excessive noise can damage your hearing. We have considered some sources of noise, the signs and symptoms of hearing damage, and of course the need for adequate protection. You have also been made aware of your responsibilities under the relevant legislation. Don't underestimate the importance of wearing ear defenders during the drilling operation and when the machine is running or if exposed to other sources of excessive noise. Listening to this message now will mean that you will still be able to hear in the future.